everybody. We are back. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
I lost all my audio. I have to unplug this thing.
Oh, Trevor.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. I'm just gonna ditch the headphones. I don't know what else to do with them. So whatever. Freaking technology. So
Right?
yeah.
That's okay. You look handsome either way, so it's all good.
No, that's right. I'm not here for my brains or knowledge. I am just the eye candy of the show. So
That's exactly right. That's
that's
true.
really sad. It's like a really low. I'm like a really low budget model. So you don't.
Well,
I
we pay you enough. I mean, I tell you, like, we pay
Right.
you enough to look pretty. So, hello.
Oh my.
You
God.
know, keep doing your job, dude.
That's it. Just keep going. Bow chicka bow wow. It's all good. Paranormally, well, whatever. We won't do it. We won't
Well,
say
maybe one of these times, maybe one of these times, I'll bring my firefighter helmet in and my uniform and stuff, and
it. Wow.
I'll
I
do a
like
little shimmy. I don't know.
it.
So,
Like it.
oh my.
Yeah. So, what's going on, guys?
We're all good. We're all good. We're all good, right? I'm working on a case, which is good. So that's fun. Keeps you busy when you're working on a case. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's okay. And tomorrow is a holiday. It's family day. So everybody I know is probably either going to sleep in or watch something crazy on TV. But how about you guys? How are you doing?
I can't think of a better way to spend time with a family than sleeping or watching TV. So
Right?
as long as we don't have to socialize, it'll be fine. So
Truth. What about you, Kathy?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a birthday on Tuesday. It was my birthday.
Yes.
So, but we had gone out
that was your 29th?
Yeah.
39th.
29th birthday. Got it.
29th, 39th. Oh,
39,
we had
39.
10 years. Come on.
Yeah. 39 again. um yeah, so we had gone out on Sunday actually, and then my kid very nicely ordered food in for us on Tuesday, so that was good. I didn't have to do anything. I had a very, very lovely, relaxing day. The only thing that kind of was sad is we did have on February 10th, we did have Canada's um, worst shooting.
Oh yeah, that was
And
horrible.
that is tragic. We, 8 innocent lives, and were lost.
That's
And
awful.
yeah, it was several of them were children, which was tragic. So unfortunately, that was sort of a downer on the birthday, obviously, but God rest their souls, right? And these
Yeah.
poor kids, like, it's such a tragic event that happened. So, and as more and more information is coming out, it's just terrible. But yeah, otherwise, things are all right. Things are pretty good. So, yeah. How about you, Trev? What's going on?
Well, yeah, I've been staying busy. So a few of us on the team just took a trip over to Great Falls, Montana. So I threw a rock and tried to hit Kathy's house from there, but might have been just it was pretty
You were
close. But
probably just a mile or two shy.
yeah, I mean that's as close as Canada has been in a minute. Never been over to Great Falls before. Beautiful town. It was crazy because it's northern Montana in February, and there were people walking around in shorts. I mean, it was like 60 something degrees. It was nuts. So weather was pretty awesome. We were invited out there by a group that was putting on the Great Beyond Film Festival. And so they invited us to come out there. They had some ghost hunts that they wanted. Their words were some local teams to come out and do some public investigations, and they contacted us. And I'm like, we're like 10 hours away, but and they're like, no, that's cool. I was like, oh, okay. So we went and we got to do that. So I got to meet some new people, made some new friends. It was really awesome. We got to investigate some pretty cool buildings. Um, in fact, one of them had never been investigated before, so we were the
Wow.
first to ever even get in there to do something. So that was pretty awesome.
So you actually had some evidence, though, right? Did you want to share it with us?
Yeah. So let me. It looks like I gotta bring it back up again. So
Yeah.
hang on just a second. Let me see if I can share the screen. Share the screen. Share. Okay. Here we are.
There we go.
Yes.
So show us where to look.
All right, so we're going to be looking over here where you'll see these people over here on the lower right. So there's a large group of us, and I am kind of ahead of everybody to so you understand where we're at. This building is called the Elevation 3330, I believe. The whole building is about 150,000 square feet. It is 6 stories. Originally, it was built in, I believe, 1912. It was built as kind of like a Sears or Montgomery Ward mall. They had catalogs they'd send out. It's kind of like the original Amazon, right? They'd mail out catalogs and you could mail order stuff in. Eventually, they added to the building. It became a clinic or a hospital of some sort.
Wow.
And there is a series of tunnels that run underneath Great Falls, and this building has the longest section of a continuous tunnel that's still in existence, and that is where we're at. We are down in the tunnels beneath the building and beneath the sidewalk and street outside the building. And what's interesting about this clip is you're going to be hearing some footsteps, but you'll see these guys walk by. We're walking on concrete. The walls are concrete, and there's concrete above us. So these footsteps did not make any sense to me when we hear them. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. I'll go ahead and play it, and hopefully anybody that's watching has got some headphones. You guys can turn it up. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Hold on.
I think you have to turn the volume on your side up just a little bit.
Where's that coming from?
I think my volume's all the way up. I don't know why it's not coming across because I can hear it now and I couldn't hear it earlier.
No.
You guys not able to hear it at all?
Yeah, I could hear it. Yeah. Do you want to play it again?
Yeah, play it again.
All right. So it's a little bit before I can't adjust it very specifically. So let's try this. You can hear them coming closer now.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's so wild. Like,
Jason, where's that coming from?
that's crazy.
So I'm.
It's
gonna be the radio from the workshop?
No.
No, it's right.
These are like
right
loud
here.
footsteps.
I can hear that.
So you hear me ask like, hey, Jason, where's that coming from? So Jason is the owner of the building. He's never investigated this place before. He had heard some stories from from some staff that some stuff had been going on the upper floors during some construction, but he never really believed it, that it was just overactive imaginations and things like that. I asked him after we were done with this investigation in the tunnel, I said, so what do you think about this place now? And he goes, I think there's ghosts here. So he kind of left a believer. we were trying to figure out if it was machinery. We tried to figure out, if it was an HVAC issue. Um, but what was interesting is it sounded like there was kind of the heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe type walking, like somebody walking with boots.
Yeah.
But it also sounded
I
like they
was
were
going to ask,
walking.
was this used to be, was this a military something? Like, what was this building? Like, was there a lot of, like, what I'm asking is basically would there have been a lot of people walking at one time?
So originally it was built as what was described to me as like a mini mall in 1912. Sears
Okay.
Roebuck was in there, Montgomery Ward's was in there. They did like mail order catalog type stuff. Um, and then so there was like a 2-story section and a 3-story section that were kind of there, like the display area. At one point, there was a speakeasy in the building, which would have been just above. Well, it would have been the next floor up from where we were. But the thing about it is the footsteps almost sounded like they were coming overhead of us, but it's all concrete and sidewalk above us. So we couldn't really figure out where it was coming from. That and the footsteps actually sounds like they're walking on something wooden,
Yes.
because it doesn't sound like they're walking on
This
cement.
is the other question that I have. So, when was it built again?
1912, I believe.
Yeah. So, could this have been like I know it's like past the time period, but what did they used to call it where they used to shuffle people underneath different homes or businesses where they used to transport people, like not trafficking, but I mean to help them, like
No.
slaves and stuff like that.
Like, oh, you're talking about like the underground
Like an
railroad type
underground
thing.
railroad, right?
So,
Like,
so as I understand it, these tunnels were only used to move goods and coal, mainly coal, to get coal to the different furnaces that were in the buildings around Great Falls. That's what Jason told us anyway. Um, yeah, that's all I know about them. Um, it was just wild, the amount. I mean, and playing it on the computer here doesn't do it justice of how
yeah,
loud those footsteps actually were. It was almost like something was like, ooh, these guys are here, I'm getting out, because it's like a very quick pace.
yeah.
um we did find out at one point the mayor of Great Falls, and I don't know which mayor or what year, but murdered his wife down in the tunnels, I guess. So could it have been like her ghost or his ghost, running down the tunnel? I don't know. So, it was interesting. So we
That is
we did
interesting.
catch a couple EVPs on live as well. This was really cool because we were broadcasting this out on our uh, uh, social media channels on Instagram and YouTube. And you can, if you want to hear a lot of this stuff, you can go to YouTube on our YouTube channel. We've got the evidence posted there. Eventually, we're going to be able to get all this downloaded, and we're going to go through it and pick out all the clips and stuff and get those up as well. So, but it was pretty cool that the entire group that was there all got to hear these footsteps. So it was a pretty cool experience for everybody.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It
That is
really
really
is.
cool. It is really cool. And it does sound like heel toe, heel toe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
play it one more time?
Yeah.
That's very
Let me bump it back a little bit. Let's see. That's a little too far. That's a little better. I can't tell how far back we are. So this gives you an idea of what it sounds like when everybody's walking.
And then when we were doing our own walkthrough before you all came down.
And Jennifer was talking about how they were down there earlier and they heard footsteps
We can probably stay
when we were setting up stuff.
and do the EVP session if you guys want. I feel like we're far enough away that we all hear each other without screaming. Is someone meet again something?
Hold it, hold on. Jason, where's that coming from? No,
No, it's right.
these are like
right
loud
here.
footsteps.
Oh, I hear music.
You just,
So could you hear them like without the audio equipment?
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't wearing any headphones or anything. I was just
Yeah.
kind of guiding the investigation and keeping track of everybody. And, those things, I mean, they walked either right over the top of me basically. And um I couldn't figure out. They kind of faded out, and then I was so this tunnel kind of makes a 90-degree corner. I'm standing at the corner at this point, and it sounded like it just took off, down the hallway towards the exit. And I kind of paused, and it kind of went, and then it sounded like something shuffled, and I thought maybe somebody was messing around with us because there were other people in the building, but they weren't anywhere near where we were. I chased him. I went running down the hallway to see if there's anybody down there. We had cameras outside that should have picked up anybody that was out there. We never saw anything, so it was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
They were loud, but it sounded like floorboards, like somebody walking on floorboards.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I
100%.
agree, and it made absolutely no sense. And it was funny because we spent quite a bit of time trying to debunk it and figure it out in the dark. We're using red light flashlights, and we were shining them at the ceiling, and the ceiling actually looks like plywood. I mean, we were like, oh, well, we thought we were underneath the sidewalk, what are we actually under? And then we turned on the regular flashlights and looked, and it was because Jason, the owner, was adamant that no, that's concrete above us. It's not. And I'm like, well, and I guess they used plywood as a base and then poured the cement over the top of it and then pulled the plywood off. And so it left perfect impressions and designs that make it look like wood. But when you put the white light on there, it's clearly concrete. So yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
That's interesting. It would be really interesting to know when they poured the concrete. I mean, did they leave it as wood for a certain amount of time, or did they just pour it right away?
So Jennifer, my marketing director that was with us, she was looking at she looked up some old photos of the building because that's what we were trying to figure out. We thought maybe there was a wooden sidewalk
Yeah.
or something. And the picture that we saw in 1912 after the building had been constructed, it was all cement. So I don't know. The other interesting thing about it is while we were down there, never heard a car go by on the street. And we're right
Yeah.
underneath it, so it was pretty soundproof. So my assumption is the sound came from somewhere inside that tunnel. There were two wooden ramps that led out of the tunnel and into one led out of the tunnel and into the basement. Well, they both go into the basement of the building, but they're short ramps as well.
Oh,
Eventually, I go and I kind of stomp on one to see, hey, was this the right sound? And I mean, it was similar, but I don't know. It was super weird.
It almost sounded like they walked right between you guys, though.
They
That's
did.
like,
That's
yeah,
exactly. That's
like right
yeah.
between everybody. Yeah.
Yep. Like, yep, up, oh, too many people in here. I'm out.
Yeah. You're invading my space.
Really? So, well, and that was the first time that place had ever been investigated like that too. So
Wow.
who
oh,
Yeah.
knows?
Be interesting to do it again and just see what pops up.
Well, it was really cool. Yeah, Jason, the owner, invited us back. Say, hey, yeah, if you guys want to come. I said, Jason, I need like a week to investigate this building because it's huge. It is
Yeah.
so big. And I mean, all my equipment was, we focused all of our equipment down in the basement and in the tunnels. I just kind of rolled the dice thinking, well, if there's going to be a ghost, this is where it'll be. And yeah, we were really fortunate that we caught that. So
That's
very cool.
pretty damn incredible. No kidding.
That's cool.
But that kind of leads us into the topic of the show today, where we're talking about the importance of, why are we communicating, or why are we still talking about paranormal or supernatural? Why is it important, right? This was you had stated it really good. What was one of the reasons to bring the topic up, Lynda? This was your kind of idea, and I loved it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have said to me recently that, there used to be a heck of a lot more shows out there talking about the paranormal, and some of them have kind of disappeared. And they were asking me, like, is this sort of a passé topic? Or why is it that, you feel that we still need to talk about this? And I said, this is a topic I think that, well, first of all, people have talked about since time immemorial. I think it's a really important thing to keep this topic alive and to talk about it, because honestly, people love it, number one. And number two, I really believe that it's important because when we talk about it and we share information, we learn so much more about all of it. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, UFOs, whether it's
Yeah.
cryptids, whether it's ghosts. We learn so much more. And I don't think we can truly ever exhaust the topic. I think there's always going to be so much more to learn. There's always going to be so much more to talk about. And I think it's important to talk about it.
So one of the things that so this actually popped up today, and I found it really interesting. And I thought, this is another one of the reasons why I feel like it's important for us. Okay. And so as we know, there's been a couple of Hollywood celebrity deaths. We had Catherine O'Hara, pass away. What's his name? I just knew his name a second ago. The guy from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that one.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
I don't mean to, I'm not trying to be ignorant in regards to this. I literally, it just went right out of my head.
Yep. Okay.
James Vanderbeek.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And so, but there's a particular paranormal channel, and I know they've got thousands of followers. I'm not going to say their name, but I am going to say that there is a diamond with the same name. So we're just going to leave it at that, a very famous diamond, and we're going to leave it at that, okay? And then people can kind of figure that out on their own. But this person, says basically they use some sort of gadget or whatever. And apparently they're picking up on the voice of whatever star or whoever it is that has passed away. But we're talking within a day, like hours after they've passed. And I just find this whole, what was that?
Sorry, I was.
Oh no, that
I
was
was,
okay. I thought it was me.
I was checking our stream on YouTube and making sure it was up. So
Okay. But yeah, I find it so disrespectful.
Mhm.
Yes.
And quite honestly, I find it a fucking scam. Excuse my language.
Yes.
But I do. I think it's a scam. I think it's BS. Quite honestly, I do. Not saying that you can't contact these people. You know what I mean? That's not it. But first of all, like, let them be. It's only been a few hours or whatever it is. But second of all, like, it's just such BS, and he's making so much money from this crap. You know what I mean? And it's some voice synthesizer or some, I don't know what it is. Like I don't want to invest. maybe that's ignorant of me. I don't know, but I don't want to invest the time, really, quite honestly, even watching his nonsense. You know what I mean? But it does pop up every once in a while, and I'll see people sharing it. And I think for me, this is why this kind of stuff is important, what we're doing and what other people are doing in regards to honest and fair talking about the paranormal, as truthful as we can possibly be from our point of view. Okay, let's just put it that way. And from our guest's point of view, right? And when you see stuff like this, it just irks the living caboodles out of me because of the fact that it's just pure garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that people flock to this crap.
Yep.
They flock to it, and they're like, oh, ask them this, and then they start getting really personal. Like, and this is just what I'm picking up from like the comments, because they'll show up on my Facebook feed and it'll be like just the comments of, you know what I mean, of people, what, ask them this, ask them that. These are really personal questions, first of all, that this guy is creating and inventing the answers for, or given some sort of BS bullshit in regards to this. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's almost like, that's, I don't know. I'm so against it. So against it. But it is also one of the reasons why we do need shows that have these type of topics so that we can discuss. And I mean, even just in regards to people receiving, you know, investigations, I feel like over the years we've been able to give people solid answers, solid communication, solid ways of going forward when they may be experiencing a haunting.
Yeah.
And I feel like shows like that, or shows like ours, and there's others out there that, you know, give valid information rather than just, oh, I'm going to pull Elvis out of my ass and talk to him tonight. Like, it's just you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean. It's true. It's true. I mean, I think people love to talk about this because it gives everyone hope that something of us does go on and that does exist beyond all of this, you know, seemingly ridiculousness like groceries and laundry. But I mean, you're right. There's so many people out there, so many, I'm going to say shameless people out there.
right. Absolutely.
Who take advantage of,
Mhm.
you know, paranormal equipment, and people's, I don't know what it is. It's this greed to know more. I don't know. It's not nice. It's just disrespectful.
Right. And even if the person isn't making, let's say, money from, you know, selling something or anything like that, they're still making the clicks, the views, and that encourages more crap, right? Like, that's just a more encouraging to create more garbage.
Yeah.
And nobody really stops and goes like, well, you know, first of all, should I even ask this question, or should I even encourage this person to ask such a deeply personal question in regards to, you know, this person, right? But second of all, you know, you're basically inventing answers, and it's just, I don't know, like, it's just such crap.
You know, people, society loves the sensational, right?
Right.
And that's what it is. And reality isn't sensational. It's sometimes boring. It's, you know, the clip that I got, that's about as sensational as it gets. I mean, unless
Yeah.
you're catching an apparition on video and everybody sees it and it's standing right there in front of you. I mean, you know, and people who have actual hauntings, they get that. They understand that it's not like it is on television. The vast majority of people, however, believe everything that they see on screen. Their lives are dedicated to the screen, and that's where they get all their information. And so, whatever they see has got to be real, or they just want it to be real, and it's entertaining. Um, you know, and again, and that's the hard part about what we do, because we talk about the reality of the paranormal, you know, and I still find, you know, the real stuff more sensational than the fake stuff, because the real stuff is real. This is really happening. Those
Yeah.
footsteps that we heard in that tunnel, those were real. We all heard them, you know. We were all just kind of like, whoa, what the heck? You know, which was cool, because, you know, I wasn't the only one that experienced it, was, you know, others. And the importance of sharing that and showing the reality of it, that helps other people who have had similar experiences. It brings validation to them as well, you know. And that's, I think, what we do the best, is validating real experiences that other people have, where perhaps they're not getting that validation from their family or from their friends. They don't have a community to turn to seek answers or to seek help, and that's what we can provide. Um, so and kind of like you mentioned in the past. I mean, the paranormal discussion has been going on for millennia, for a long, long time, since since ancient Mesopotamia. The first known uh, 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 depiction of, I believe they believe, was a depiction of a uh, an exorcism, and it talked about how to get rid of evil spirits. And I think they call it the 2500 BC tablet. And yeah, so this is not like a new topic. I think that the popularity of it waxes and wanes, but
Right.
it's always going to be there. It's been there forever. And I think it's going to be there for the foreseeable future. You know, I'm just glad I'm on the truthful side of it. I get people want to make a buck, and that's all they're in it for. So they're
Yeah.
going to create AI videos, and they're going to. I watched uh, I watched a deal that allegedly it was like a paranormal investigator, I think, and a gal that was claimed to be a psychic, a medium of some sort, and was channeling some guy from some time, and they were having a conversation on stage.
Oh, great.
And while she was channeling, so he's just asking questions, and she's just talking like she's pretending to be this guy or whatever. And I was just like, are you flipping kidding me? And there were people
And
in the audience
people
that were
like will
eating
thrive
it
on
up.
that,
They
right?
were eating
Love
it
it.
up. And I'm just like, dude, she's
Well,
like,
we could do that right now.
yeah. We could totally, I mean, it, I'm just like, there is no, oh, I was like, just, okay, first of all, even if it is real, this is really bad real, because like, I mean, this doesn't even make any sense. Like, but and the fact that, it was staged, and it was poorly staged, and people were just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
this is not even a thing. I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Now, if you know, you can prove me wrong. Let's video it. Let's get some audio equipment going. Let's get some instruments out. Let's see if we're detecting anything. Let's see if we're getting any EMFs from this person. See if,
Right.
while we're channeling here, she's channeling this guy through this female who's got her female voice going. I want to hear his voice on this recorder. Then, okay, hey, high five. Good job. I was wrong. You are the real deal. Oh my
For
gosh.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not a chance. Not a chance.
I know.
So.
I agree. And I think you're right. I think by talking about it, as we do, we help people to understand that not everything out there is real, that we can
Mhm.
debunk things, we can share information that we have. And yeah, we can debunk, we can definitely say why we believe that those people might be frauds and that you shouldn't listen to them and that you shouldn't bring them into your house. Because there's so many people out there, you're right. I mean, Trevor, you're right. They love the sensationalism. But I mean, that could be hurtful too. What about all these people that
100%.
believe every possible thing that somebody says to them, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It just,
Well,
it hurts.
and the biggest concern I have is these people being taken advantage of,
Yeah.
and inviting somebody into their home to connect with a loved one or
Mhm.
whatever. And oh yeah, no problem. That'll be $5,000,
Right.
There you go.
That's
Take my
that's
money. Take my
exactly
money,
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you see, funny enough, you still hear so much of that. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
it's interesting because I tell my clients, look at my goal working with you is I hope to get to a place where I don't have to have you as a client anymore.
Right.
Right? That's my goal. It's
Hmm.
because of the fact that I hope that during our work together, you allow yourself to grow, expand, ascend, evolve. You become a strong person within yourself, whatever
Yep.
the topic is that we're working towards or on. And
Yep.
my goal is to have you go look at, you know what? I feel amazing. I don't think I need you anymore. Like maybe we'll do a checkup once in a while, or, maybe we'll, do a little bit of a tune up once in a bit, but I don't need you. And I'm okay with that. Like that to me is success, right?
Mhm.
And you don't need, this $5,000, like literally. Just letting you guys know. My sessions are like 85 an hour. Like that's not expensive. That's cheaper than 99% of the people out there. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? This $5,000 to talk to, I don't know, like I think it was 5 or 10 close to talk to like Sylvia Brown at the
Oh, wow.
time. Remember her?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
I do.
she made tons of millions of dollars.
I do.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember guys like John Edwards on TV. You remember John Edwards?
Yeah. Well,
You
he
know?
charged a good pretty penny for his
Oh
sessions
yeah.
too.
He made bank. He got his own TV show and everything. And
Yeah.
it was so comical. I loved it. It was, and I feel bad because I actually watched it every once in a while because it was just like, oh, I was just like I was like, are you sure? Oh, I'm picking up a name with the A
Oh,
sound. Hey, anybody got
yes.
a relative with a name that has an A in it? You know, it's like,
I hear the word Michael and John. I hear Michael and John. Who has a Michael and a John in their
oh,
family?
me.
Right? It's true. Drives me crazy. And you
My
know
father's
what?
cousin's
And John had a
former
heart
best
attack.
friend's roommate.
Who has a John that had a heart attack? Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
There was something with the heart. Maybe maybe he had a broken, or maybe he just loved somebody. I don't know.
God,
Yeah,
I know. I know.
yeah. But Kathy, I'm totally with you. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, basically that's the same approach we take with our clients as well. My
Right.
goal is to give them the tools and the wherewithal, know-how, and the confidence to deal with the problems that they are having, and showing them how to investigate, what's going on, so they don't have to be, and showing that they don't have to be afraid of their own homes and stuff. And we charge nothing.
Mhm.
We charge nothing. We don't
Yeah.
charge any money for
Investigators
our
should not.
clients.
You know what I mean?
No,
If you're doing paranormal
we can't.
investigation, you should,
You
yeah, like it's,
cannot charge your
yeah.
clients. It's the second you start charging people money, they're going to be expecting something that you're not going to be able to deliver without faking your evidence, you
Yeah.
know? And if that's, I mean, I could totally do it. I could totally do it. I could totally go into somebody's house and I could make all
Mhm.
sorts of stuff happen if I wanted to,
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, oh, you have got a class 4 demon that is haunting your basement.
Sure.
And I know we can get rid of it. We can totally get rid of it. It's $500 for our services. I guarantee it will be gone. I could probably make money doing it.
You could.
I probably,
Right?
but,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
that's not what no, I just, and that's the problem. I'm too freaking honest. I couldn't do it to people.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to have a real haunting in a house
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
know what to do about it.
Me too.
So
Well, here's the thing. We actually do have a team now. I don't know if they're active so much anymore. But they were very active, back when we were actually active as a team. But they would go in, and I think they charged a couple $100, whatever it was. And she was always like, portals, it was all about the portals. Well, you got a portal, I got to close the portal, blah blah blah, a couple of finger movements and portals, done, good. But we would get calls from these clients on a regular basis, and they would be like, well, we had this team out, and and ever since they left, things are kind of crazy around here, and blah blah blah, and we don't know what to do, and every time we call them, they hang up on us. They want nothing. They said, oh, well, you guys must have opened up something else, and that's not our problem. And they walk away from it, right? And so us who weren't charging, had to pretty much go in and kind of fix the situation, and or at the very least put the people into a place of feeling calm and comfortable with what was happening, and give them some sort of explanation as to the development of this thing, and do they need to be in a place of fear? Do they just let it be? Does it dissipate on its own? There's so many factors to it, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, they stirred up all kinds of shit.
Mhm.
and pretty much just walked away from it and charged a pretty penny for the 5 or 10 minutes that they were there doing some finger movements and waving around of the hands, and that was it, right?
Maybe I need to
So
add that to my investigations when I'm walking in. Nobody party to party to feel like this or chanting
right.
something and something that almost sounds like Latin, you know. So these are not the droids you're looking for.
Well, it's hard, when people are really vulnerable too, right? Other people take advantage of them.
They do.
And I'm not going to say that everybody out there is a fraud, but
Nope.
there are very many people who would love to take advantage of people when they're at their lowest. And,
Mhm.
some of them especially, when people have lost their animals, they contact animal
For
communicators,
sure.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. And they want to know that their little pet is happy and has moved across the Rainbow Bridge, and they're willing to pay them a ton of
Oh
money,
yeah.
a
Yeah.
ton of money. And it's like, gosh, it just drives me crazy when some people a lot of people take advantage of people's, upset or insecurities or anything like that. And I think that's important that we talk about things like that so that people
Mhm.
understand that there are people who prey on others out there, and that there
Yep.
are people that are dangerous that will take advantage of, a person's vulnerabilities or their good nature. So it's important that we talk about stuff like that.
So how do people go about finding the real ones out there, Kathy? So how, like, you get a lot of, like,
Okay, well, here's the thing. Okay, so first of all, to be honest, I would say the cost.
Hmm.
I think that's a strong indicator. There are people that do charge. Like, I mean, they do go up. Like, and I'm talking when I say people, I mean these are people that I know of. Okay, like that I know do have legitimate abilities. They charge about, they could go up to about 150 an hour. Some are about 130 for a half hour, 200 or more for a full hour. Personally, I've had readings with them, like, or done an exchange with them. Like, I don't pay for readings, but you know what I mean? Maybe done an exchange with them. I didn't find that ability to be on the scale of, should I pay for this?
what is it that
That,
you
but that's
do,
just me.
Kathy? What
What's
is it
that?
that you do? What do you do for a new client that helps them know that you're the real deal and not
So
just
when
the
somebody books, okay, let's just say somebody books an appointment with me. First of all, I want very little information. Okay, like when they book the initial appointment, like if they want, there have been times like if there's a few people that we're going to try to contact, let's say on a medium energy or a mediumship energy, you can give me the names of them, like I don't need the full name. I just want the first name, maybe when they passed away, maybe approximately their age, if you don't have their legit birth date, right? That's okay. I don't need that. But let's say just, give me like Martha, age 74, died 2023. That's pretty much all I need. Okay. Because it helps me to distinguish who's coming in. Because if it's like a 20-year-old, we know that's probably not Martha. You know what I mean? Right? Because sometimes they're not great with their names, that kind of thing. But then basically, as soon as somebody comes in, I will say have a set list of questions in case we need that. But for the most part, the first, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes of the session, especially if it's not mediumship, like usually what I'll do is just kind of give them a rundown of the situation that I feel that they're involved with at this moment, especially if it's like a relationship uh, thing that's going on. Maybe it's a life situation, maybe it's a career thing. I'll kind of give a layout of what I'm picking up in regards to their current situation or their current life, right? So it's a very quick overview. And then if it's mediumship, then I need that information that we talked about and then we can kind of go from there. But when things come in on a mediumship level for me, it's never something that you're going to, it's never like, oh, they loved you, blah blah. It's because you can get that from the guy at 7-Eleven, right? Like literally. But it's going to be more like, these are just examples of things that I've picked up. What does a red rowboat sitting on the shore mean to you with the cabin to the right? And I see about 4 children. What does that mean to you? Boom. Now the person knows, okay, like there's no way this person can pull that out of like anything. You know what I mean? Or in one instance, it was somebody's daughter who came through, and she wasn't really doing a mediumship reading to start off with, but it was just this daughter just showed up. She had been a teenager when she passed away. And I was like, okay, there's somebody who's like, she's got a lot to say, and I think you need to sit down and like listen. And this girl kind of, I wouldn't say she completely channeled through me, but she absolutely had a lot to say. And she talked about her stepmother, her stepbrother, her father, and how she felt neglected by her father, and her new baby sister that she never got a chance to meet, and some of her health issues, like a lot of this kind of streamed right through. And it was really cathartic for the mom, because it really helped get her into a place where she felt, the girl was hit by a car, right? So it was, it was a very tragic and quick loss, but it did help the mother to know that she was okay, and she was in a good place. And there was even things that she had talked about in regards to her baby sister, that she was, because it was pretty cute, because she was saying, like, I go in and I sneak in when you're not there, like when the mom's not there, and I tickle her feet. And she's like, oh my God, this is why she's giggling when I'm not in the room. She goes, I'll leave the room and I'll hear hee 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 hee, and I'll go back in and she'll just be sitting there like that. And she goes, I couldn't figure out why. And I said, well, yeah, because she's tickling her. So it was kind of wild. Like, it's those sort of things. So that's how a client knows, right? Is because you're pulling out things, you're telling them, you're giving them the information that only they can resonate with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not going to be it's not just some random crap like, he loves you. You know what I mean? It's going to be very direct. And sometimes, like a lot of times, the people will say how they passed away, or at least a close, like I might feel it. You know what I mean? Like if it was, let's say, heart attack, I might feel it, that pain in there. It could be in like circulation. It's whatever it is. Like usually a lot of times I'll feel it, but that's for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble for so long, but that's how I pick up stuff.
Yeah, it's important because specifics are important. Anybody
It's
can
specifics, right? And that's just it. And the main thing is not to pull this crap of like, oh, I'll tell you this for this.
Yeah.
And that's where people have to cut it off. Like, you know what I mean? If I was to say, oh, I'll tell you the secret combination of blah blah blah, the secret garden, if you pay me like $500 during our session.
Oh.
Right? Like, but that's or I have this magic, like, as I think most people know, I make, the organites, like the ones that are here, that are behind over there.
Mm-hmm.
And but those are separate from what I do. There, you don't buy an organite in order to like find the secret of Shalala land. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna return my order to Amazon then, get grief. So
yeah, exactly. Right. So, people have to, separate that, right? You have to be in that place of like, what is it that's, coming through? Is it legit? Does it resonate with me? Is it something specific to me? And is it something that, and I always say to people, look, if you have to start searching for what I'm saying to you, because not everything is going to resonate, because when you open that door, you're opening the door, right? And so you can't sometimes pick and choose who's coming through. And so you're going to get the odd rando that comes in that's trying to give a message at the same time to some, you know what I mean? So if I hear something and I say, okay, I'm not sure if I understand this. And a lot of times I won't understand it. And it'll be like, does that mean anything? No. And I'll always say, I'm not going to get offended. Like if you say no, that doesn't resonate. I'm not gonna cry, and I'm not gonna push it on you, and I'm not gonna be offended by it. It just helps me to push it out of the way because it's not for you.
Right.
That's all. Right? It has nothing to do with you. So now we can focus on the things that are meant for you. And yeah, and and again, somebody trying to push more money. Like, I mean, if my sessions go over an hour, like an hour and 15, right? But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But there are people that you have to say to look at, okay, like I got to go now, our session is done. If you need to rebook, go ahead. But there are a lot of people that try to push that, or, if you pay me, blah, blah, blah. And that, again, that's something that people have to be aware of. Eliza is asking, what is an organizer? So I'm just going to show you really quick here.
Elise. Hi, Elise.
So these are resin organites. They're basically, so I've got crystals in there. I think this one has hematite and white quartz. And so it's basically a lot of times I put copper in them. And they're basically for, they really help bring a strong energy or better energy sometimes to a room. I really use it in this room because we're always talking about the paranormal. So I like to keep this room clear. And so I've got several in here. This is one of them. And yeah, they're really good for, you can make them individual, like.
Waiting for her to fall off the chair. Like
I'm going to, right. Probably needs dusting. But this one here has black onyx in it.
really cool.
So pretty.
And you make those yourself, Kathy, right? And
yes.
you sell them?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
a lot. Yeah, there a lot of people have and it's interesting. When we talk about we're going into a whole nother discussion here, but we're talking about minerals and things like that, and precious metals and whatnot. But it is amazing how well some of this stuff works. Like for me, I don't know much about a lot of the different minerals, but just like grounding myself in earth, like in dirt.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Nothing is more soothing and calming for me than being able to go sit in a stream and just bury my bare feet into the river gravel and the dirt and things like that. It is pretty cool, pretty amazing. But yeah, so those are beautiful, Kathy. You do a very nice job on those. I think another great thing about discussing paranormal and being able to just talk to other investigators and other teams, like since I've been doing this show and being able to talk to Lynda so much, I've learned a ton, and it's a lot of it is validation on the way that I conduct investigations. Different, we talk about different types of equipment that we're using, and being able to present each other evidence that we've caught, that and talking about how we go about catching that stuff, and it really is cool to be able to bounce ideas off of other investigators and other teams, and how much we learn from each other. I think is really important as well. I think there's way too many teams out there that seem to think that they need to be isolated and we don't talk to these people because we don't do things the way that they do them. I don't know. What do you think, Lynda?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's so many people out there that truly believe that what they're doing is the right thing and that everybody
Mhm.
else is either doing it wrong or, not doing it well enough or paying attention to this, that, and the other. But I mean, there's so much value, right, in sharing information, not only for investigators, information about how we do things, why we do things, but to the people out there that we help. I mean, so many people out there really believe that they're losing their minds or
Yeah.
they're terrified. Things are happening. But if we can share things and if they can also share things with other people, then there's those commonalities of experience that really speak to what they're experiencing and knowing that they're not crazy, that these things actually do happen, and these things actually do exist, and other people have like-minded experiences.
Mhm.
It's so important. I mean, we always want to know that what we're doing, we're not alone. What we're experiencing, we're not alone. And I think that's so important, the commonalities. And I think that's why, um, talking about the paranormal has existed for so long, because who doesn't like to share stories about what we've experienced and what's out there or what potentially could be out there, because there's a lot of interesting things that we don't really know much about, but
Mhm.
we're sort of touching the surface. And
Yep.
it's so exciting to kind of delve into those topics. And when you do, you learn a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, a
Yeah.
little bit from that person. And, that's how education happens, right? That's how we grow. That's how we share. And I don't know, I just find it so fascinating and so important.
Think about how much we've learned just from doing this show and talking to so many people,
Yeah.
and even other psychics, to be honest. Like we've had psychics on the show and other intuitives or empaths. And I've personally learned from them. Like it's interesting to know what their techniques are, how they hear, how they, receive information. Like, we're eh, and some of the investigators, like how they conduct something, like, you know what I mean? They're very similar. I find that a lot of the investigations are very similar, but if we can even just pick up one little tip or one little hint of, another way of doing something or another way to receive information, I think that's wonderful.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
true. We just got to keep doing it.
Yes, we do.
Well, and what's cool about it, I mean, I think truly it is life's greatest mystery is what happens after we die,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's people that believe, this and there's believe that, but like you said, Linda, we're kind of just touching the surface. I don't even know if we've really scratched the surface, but it is super fascinating, and trying to be able to explain like the footsteps that I presented. What the hell? Where did that come from? What was that?
For
When we
those that
check.
didn't see Trevor's video of the footsteps, if you're just joining us, make sure you watch the beginning of the show. Like go rewatch it, and we play the clip several times, and you can hear those footsteps. It's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, and again, but that's what's really cool. The people that came with us, that were on that public investigation, they were not paranormal investigators and stuff, but they had that great experience, and
Right.
they're going to be able to take that and they're going to tell their friends about it, right? And then they're going to have those discussions, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I hope in that group there was that one person who was like that skeptic, or that one person who was in the group that would be like, "Oh, I just want one paranormal experience." And they had it. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be like, that's amazing? Like, that would be, because you always have that one person who's like, everybody's
Well,
kind of
I
curious about
he
me.
wasn't down with us. So I have a tech, or he's kind of like my head tech, Pete, and he's amazing. He does amazing work. He's freaking, when he talks to me, I feel really stupid because he uses big words and I can't spell half of the words that he uses. But um, he is my no guy. He's like, anytime I put evidence and we say this is evidence, no, no. That was a car. I said, well, clearly the car said get out, and I don't, but he'll still say no. But he even had an experience up while he was there because he was up on the where was he? He was up there somewhere. He was like he was in whatever, I can't remember what first. I guess we'd call it the first floor. Um, yeah, because there was like a first floor, and then there was like a mezzanine, and then there was the basement. It
Right.
was it was a really interesting setup. But anyway, he was up and he saw an apparition while he was sitting at base.
Oh, wow.
Because he thought it was us. Like he's like, whoa, when did you come back up? And he kind of looked and then he looked again and they were gone. And it
Oh,
kind of
cool.
wigged him out. It was pretty cool because he's like super skeptical,
Yeah.
rarely has experiences. And he was like, oh my gosh, this just happened. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So I love it when
That
skeptics
is,
have experiences. But and I encourage everybody to be skeptical. You should be skeptical.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody presents you a piece of evidence, anytime, even if you have an experience while you're investigating, be skeptical. Go investigate and find out if it indeed is it something that you can explain or is it something you can't? I spent 45 minutes trying to figure out those footsteps. At least 45 minutes that we heard in that tunnel. I mean, and we tried all sorts of things to try to recreate it.
Yeah.
I was really fortunate to have the owner of the building there we were just trying to go, okay, could it have been this? Could it have been this? Does this ever make a noise? Is this, and it was cool because at the very end, I felt we did a pretty good job of not being able to explain it. If that makes sense. So we did everything we could explain. We couldn't explain. I don't know that it was paranormal. I don't know for sure. It's leaning that way for me because I couldn't recreate it and I couldn't explain it. So
Very cool.
so much fun.
It is so
Love
cool.
it.
Cool.
I love it.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, everybody that has joined today, thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate you being here. Make sure you click subscribe. Please click like. Please, share the video, comment on the video, whatever, something to just get us out there because we truly appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being here. And, Lynda, Trevor, we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Everybody have an amazing week and take care.